at the time of JP Morgan's purchase, Frank claimed to have 4 million users on the platform. Problem is, Frank only had like 300,000 users. When the due diligence was happening with JP Morgan, they started asking, hey, we need to know a little bit more about these users. We'd like to have some records. Now, I have no idea what happened next. I would assume Javice freaked out and Amar freaked out that now they had to produce the actual information around these users they claimed numbered 4 million or close to 4 million when only having about 300,000. I do know that based on the trial and what came out during the questioning or during the trial procedures, that Javice had hired a computer science professor, and they started to run a fairly elaborate scheme that generated fake users and did things that were kind of sophisticated. So they made sure that the email addresses looked like real email addresses, that they didn't replicate any names, that there were actually some demographics and backstory and quote unquote pedigree that looked real. So in other words, like this looked like a user that would actually be on the Frank platform, actually using the software. And it worked apparently fairly well because they got through that due diligence. It was 15 months after the acquisition before JP Morgan got kind of the first real clue that these users weren't real. They tried to mass email the entire Frank user base, and the failure rate was, and I'm using terminology from the trial, quote, exceptionally high. I would assume high by 3.7 million or so, since they claimed 4 million and they only had 300,000. So JP Morgan then launched an internal investigation. They did a deep dive. They started getting kind of on the forensic level of all of this. And then that's when they found all of those fraudulent accounts.